Searing Chains too. It's a 4-second stun and an 8-second cooldown.
Oh, Makoto wants to jump in. They're going to work it with Dream, but still, he has to buy back. There's no other choice. Makoto is able to astral step himself back into base. They're going to lose. The melee racks up on top. Okay, they won't buy back. There's still all the towers on bottom lane, so they won't lose much more than that, but you're starting to see that. Well, not starting to. You're continuously seeing the amount of damage that can go into the Slark if BKB is down.
Yeah, it's just not much you can do here. And this is where the Slark versus Morphling. I understand the argument. I know Dota buff gives Slark a big edge, but in competitive matches, it really comes down to the team play. And the problem is that Morph is so easy to buff up into this ridiculous carry. I remember that game at the Major, we got an Apex rune and suddenly just slaughtered things with the DT. You just... Well, no, not the. He got the rune and the what's it called? The one that increases your max attribute, main attribute. Chad will tell me in a couple seconds. It doesn't matter that you don't know, Toby. Don't worry about it. But point is,
I'm not trying to follow what you're saying.
You play with Chen and Morph together. Good things are going to happen, especially if you got a GPK Ember going off.
All right, now Dream is going off, and GPK is alongside with him. At least Boom, like, they lose that fight. You know they're in a bad position, but they still keep their eyes on the map. They TP down, they keep the pressure on the bottom lane. That's the only place they really can provide that level of pressure.
It feels like it's been the tail of the tape thus far. There's nothing doing for Boom. What plays have they tried to make, right? It was that play bottom where they ended up getting both supports killed inside their own cogs.
They'll have to
Since then, it's just
they'll have to battle Roshan line. That's the only place they could really do it, because if they get Legacy Mortal into Morphling, I don't think Gambit like lose anyone of value pushing in to take that bottom lane of Rax. GPK is playing with Makoto.
It's gonna have Shiva's up soon just to provide so much vision, and Gambit, like, oh man, this Axe pickup seems like such a sick move. I'm surprised we don't see it more often, to be honest.
That Dire Observer Ward did scout out the fact that Gambit were grouping up, so I think smoke was already called out.
Dire are scanning.
They definitely know the numbers are there, and yep, a quick little scan just for a little bit of confirmation. Full retreat for Boom. Good vision being planted down, ready for the attack through the bottom lane. And they found a target, and it's Hyde again. And I feel like this guy's just been the punching bag of Gambit. He's almost 50% of their kills.
Dire's bottom tower.
And Dream will easily take this tier 1 tower by himself. No backdoor protection for tier 1s. No fortification either.
And this team behind him, you're just not going to be able to take him down.
Yep. They're waiting to go, though. Gonna try and, observer up. Someone's gonna get rid of that Radiant Sentry, too. That's a backup from Gambit. They're in a very, very strong position. 14,000 being the gold advantage as we get to watch this top fight once again. It's
just picture perfect. Look at this. Both BKBs popped. Ember out. Oh, BKB's down. Boom, get caught just hesitating. They want to engage, but they've lost their ability to actually land anything on a target. And all of a sudden, Gambit's here. No problems. The 4 staffs on both Shaklo and Rubik just serving to make it even easier to kite. And you combine that with all the sustain.
What do you do? FBZ, rolling thundering to the pit. Roshan's a 4K.
Oh, now it's a
But now they're all getting back out again. And Melt the bounce forward from Slark. A quick force off away. Chen's able to get his distance. No real strong disarm, and Slark's in too deep. But the hook shot, backline's clockwork, has picked up and thrown around. The Rubik's had a great time against Hyde. Still no one dead just yet, but Morphling's doing the best he can to try and catch up the Slark, who pounced himself up on top of a hill. Not where he wants to be. Same thing for Clockwork inside the river with no way out and no buyback available, so they're going to lose that big vision advantage. Maybe Centaur far up, but nah, you got a 4-star available. Rubik, he can be the bigger one caught as Makoto trying to stay with it, but again, another 4-star and the Stampede. Disengage after disengage. Mormons can just fly inside the pit, making life difficult. Dream at least has the Aegis to the Immortal as they wait for Dreamer Cell to pounce himself away from this fight. The Void Spirit hunted down by the Ember.
You see, Dream Cell gets stuck up on that cliff, man. I know RTZ's been smurfing in Herald matches. I didn't think he was in this one, too. Unbelievable. There's just no way to fight to this team. They hook in, immediate lift out. There's just too much disengage. Morphling's got a BKB. No one, like, you just can't kill anybody, Topes. If you can't out-team fight, you can't pick off, and you can't outscale. There's really just not much you can do to win the game. Look at this. Oh, let me morph slow. Let me summon him back in. Bring me my Greaves recipe. Bring me my Aether Lens recipe, as allies say.
And you're seeing
they go right for Megas.
You're seeing where Slark's moving, because they don't have the vision on the hillside anymore. So Slark is trying to wrap around the back lines, at least get a support. I think he wants the Rubik, but he knows he's under vision. They just lost KesQ once again. And with the Rolling Thunder forward, FBZ now to hit pretty hard, and then Rubik will end up falling. So Dreamercell finally getting something of what he's searching for. A little couple of hits into Shashlo, and the disarm, making life a little harder, but it's also harder for the Slark. And Hyde trapped in his cogs of doom. 3 heroes down, and it really does feel pretty hard. You get the Rubik, and that's what you're celebrating. That's not enough to celebrate. Not at this point in the game. 35 minutes in, you're just gonna get megged. And Gambit will be disengaging to just to re-engage. They got the rooting over on the Pangolier, and he will not get away from this one safely. Makoto joins him as well, and GG is called. Gambit will be the first team to reach the winners bracket final here at Star Ladder Imba TV Minor. A good performance in Game 2 and Game 3. They'll definitely want to forget Game 1, but showing the strength of this team to bounce back and just finish this series properly.
Oh, for sure. Impressive performance. They looked real shaky in that first game, but I'd argue they won all 3 if they had just went to play Dota at 15 instead of 20 minutes in that first game with their super farm TA. However, the morph, very successful for them. I think that moving forwards into that winner bracket final, you got to think about banning at first phase. This team looks so comfortable with Dream on the hard hyper carry and GPK on the playmaker. I think I'd be terrified of giving them this combination of cores again.
Yeah, and it feels like Gambit have a lot deeper pool than that. This roster has been around for a long time, broken up, come back.